Next, we're looking at what may be a prehistoric Pooh Bear, or is generally known as human with feline head. Whichever way you want to look at it, at the end of the day, this is an ivory sculpture showing a great deal of imagination. What we're looking at is fragmented, and it's painstakingly restored. It was found in pieces, as ivory frequently is. It's an organic material, it does break down. We're around 30,000 to 28,000 BCE, and we're looking at something that comes out of Germany. And this ivory, the mammoth ivory, is very similar, almost identical, to elephant ivory, creating a sculpture that is going to be about 1 foot tall, and it's a composite figure. In other words, a human body and an animal head. And we're going to see this throughout many early civilizations, because what it does is it tells us that this figure is not human. It tells us that this figure is probably a god or a spirit of some form. Now, arguably, this is solely from the imagination of the artist. Generally speaking, unless you go to a furry convention, we don't see humans with feline heads, nor do we see cats walking around in human skin. Although it could happen, they are evil. Don't trust anything that poops in a box. Leaving that aside, it gives us a sense of imagination, a sense that humans are no longer simply sculpting those things that they see around them or depicting those things that they see around them, but that they can create something that doesn't actually exist yet. And this would not have been very common for the time. It also took time to create, meaning that they had time. They're not always hunting. They're not always out finding food. So there is some kind of surplus, or at least there's some time around the campfire, for example, to carve these figures during the day. Otherwise, we wouldn't see them if everyone is involved in food gathering or food production. So there are going to be changes happening in the society. And as people get used to certain areas, they're going to find more food. They're going to know that, hey, if you forage over here, there's a patch of ground where we found whatever it is, beans, for example, or legumes. Or they might know that this herd is always over here, and that means that they always have food available to them, or at least more commonly than not. Starvation, of course, is a huge issue. Now, this is also a sign that furries may have been amongst us, but furries are not real. I just wanted to remind you of that. It is a sign, however, of the use of imagination. It is a sign that there are gods at this point, some kind of animalistic spirits or gods that we're seeing with human and animal characteristics. And we're going to see that develop as we move forward.